Okay, good morning, everybody. So you can tell from my title, I'm going to, in short time, you can show how much you love us by just throwing money in, big bills, it's all good. That's pretty much what I'm going to talk about tonight. Okay, you're going to be a hard crowd like that. Okay, that's okay. Like that. You know what I do want to talk to you about tonight is teacher evaluations, okay? And I know we're not all teachers in here, but I want to share some stuff about that. And so this picture here is a school that I actually got to visit last year. All right, and that's an actual school. All right, it's just around the corner. No, it's actually in England. It's in England, and I got to visit there because they asked me to come out and evaluate their teachers. They have 60 teachers there. And the thing about this, I mean, I'm not joking, that is a real school, and I gained about 10 pounds because in England, all the teachers at this school have tea and biscuits every day at 10:15. And after school at 4:15, they have like the serious pastries, and of course tea. Tea is like there all the time, 24/7, you can get it. All right, so that wasn't the reason I actually went there, though. What I went there to is they invited me to come and work with the teachers. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the coordinator for the Center of Teaching Excellence here at Cerritos. I get to work with a lot of teachers all the time, not just here, but all over the country at this point. And it's an amazing experience. But this one here stood out, and I'll tell you why. They had 60 faculty over there. And the headmaster there, I said, you know, I want you to come and evaluate and check out the teaching practices and just help our teachers think differently and reflect. I said, show me your school. Sure, I'll go. Out of the 60, 44 decided to be evaluated. Now, well, I say decided because none of them were required to do this. All right, when I showed up there, I had a little talk with them all, and I told them, look, I'm not going to evaluate you, and I'm not going to assess you. What I'm going to do is sit with you. I want to watch you teach because I love to learn from other teachers. And I'm going to do that with you, and I'm also going to sit down and talk with you after if you're willing, because I would love to share the practices that you've done and the things that I noticed, and just share ideas. 44 of them said, yeah, this sounds cool. And we did it. And it was amazing. One of the cool things about it that I didn't realize was going to happen is, for those of you who've ever, any faculty who've ever been on a team like that or been just evaluated anybody or watched somebody teach, 44 is a big number. All right, I was doing roughly 5 a day. And keep in mind that if I observed somebody, I would also then talk to them for a minimum of 30 minutes. I would sit there and we would talk. And all kinds of stuff came out of those conversations. It was really rich. Well, that afforded me the opportunity to do a lot of concentrated practice on the skill of talking to teachers about reflective teaching practices. It was awesome. And when I left that school, I got so much fantastic feedback. But when I left, I took the short flight home. It's about 12 hours from London. So I had a lot of time to think. And there was one overriding idea that just would not go away. And it still won't go away. And I suspect now will never go away because it's firmly planted in there. And that's, after doing that and watching that happen, I thought, why don't we do that here? Like, why don't we do what I just did over there at Cerritos? I need to tell you what we do here in order for you to understand the difference. So, and this isn't just at Cerritos, by the way. This teaching evaluation process we do here, for those of you who aren't teachers, I want to give you some insight, okay? Well, first you got to get hired, all right? This is what we do here. So to get hired, you got to send in some paperwork, right? And there's like 100 of you. There's one job opening, and there's about 100 of you that apply. So you got to submit an application, yeah? You got to submit a cover letter. You got to submit your transcripts where you went to school. You got to submit letters of reference. Oh, you got to submit what we call a curriculum vitae. All right, that's like everything you do in your career. Okay? And then just for good measure, you remember that your mom wrote a little biography on you, so you put that in too, just in case. You don't know what's going to happen. All right? Now, if you're lucky, you get from that 100 down to maybe like 6. There's a committee that looks at all this stuff and goes, these 6 we're going to take. We're going to want to interview them. So you go to the interview. And there's the committee waiting for you. And then they do this huge interview. There's a lot of stress going on. They want maybe a teaching demonstration. All this goes on, right? And then they tizzle again. And now you're down to maybe 3. Guess what you get to do? Now you get to go to another committee with the president of the college. And he gets to pick who he wants on his committee. And they grill you for another hour. Pure joy, right? They want to make sure they got the right person. And guess what? Out of 100, it comes down to 1. Yeah? And so now we're confident, if you're on any committee, we have picked the absolute best candidate with the best skill set, the best overall package for this job, right? That's the plan. So you come in, boom, you get your contract, cool, first day, woo, you just got hired. Guess what? There's a new committee waiting for you. It's the committee to fire. Now, I'm just joking. It's not a committee. It's not really called that. What they call it officially is the evaluation committee. Okay, and they don't sit here and go, we're going to find ways to fire you. But here's the thing. The process that we go through after that, and I get to deal with, in my position, with every new faculty on this campus. I get to work with them and help them in any way I can. And I tell them from day one, I want to help you in any way that we can with our staff. Well, they come in, and guess what? They're going to go through an evaluation every single semester for the first 2 years. And they're called probationary faculty. You know, like when you don't go to jail, but you did something wrong, they put you on probation? Yeah, you're probationary faculty for 2 years. And this committee comes. And then each committee is a little different. Some committees come and they visit you 5 times, 6 times, 1 time. And then some committees tell you, we're going to let you know when we come. Some committees go, we'll just drop in. We'll just drop in, right? It feels very punitive. And I'll tell you right now, from the word of the faculty, the new faculty, it's stressful, right? It feels like, oof, they're going to catch me. And so I'm thinking here that we need to rethink how we do that. This is the feeling, yeah? Right there. Now, they also come in with these forms. And these forms, this is like public record stuff, so don't worry, I'm not breaking any laws, or if I am, it doesn't matter. Thank you for somebody laughing there. These are forms that, this is like 2 pages of like, I don't know, 8 or 9 pages, a lot of boxes, yeah? And these forms aren't always, like, you can't really tell a lot. I mean, it's a checkoff. Boop, boop, yep, they did. Yep, okay. No rules broken here. Yep, still legal. Yep, okay, still. Yeah, okay, allowed to teach. And so you get evaluated. It's very much like a math test, right? It's an evaluation. You're done. You passed. You're good. You get to do that 1, 2 times in your first 2 years. And if you don't mess up, then you won't be probationary anymore. Now, I think that evaluations are important because the feedback that you get is really important. The question I have for this group today is, how is that feedback being given? Because as you saw from that form, it's like a test, right? You just get your grade. You don't really have the chance to sit down with a group of people who want to talk to you about how to help you get better, or that you can bounce ideas off of, or that you can just talk without feeling any threat towards your job to just say, look, I know you hired me and you feel I'm the best candidate, and there's certain things I want to do better. There's a growth mindset there that says, I want to learn, I want to be able to keep learning as a professional teacher, okay? So feedback is important. We know, there's tons of studies that show definitively that students, that's one of the highest priorities is when they receive feedback from teachers. So why not do it for teachers as well? Why not have the same mindset? Why not have the same lifelong learning? Right? So here's a cool graph and chart. This has nothing to do with my talk, and I'll tell you why. Because I could show you all the research about that, and then I'll spend 20 minutes showing you what each color is and each graph and how the tall ones are better than the short ones and the round circles instead of a triangle. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to suffice to say the way that we provide feedback for our teachers, for our own colleagues, is paramount to their success in the classroom. So here's what I'm proposing. Why don't we think about the 2 possible ways to run the process, right? There's the more punitive, I don't know if you can figure it out from the pictures. It might not be very obvious here, but we can do the more punitive sort of like, and the check the boxes, and let's make sure that, they pass everything, and you're probationary, right? Yeah, I'm probationary, okay? Or maybe we could just decide to lift them up from day 1. The moment they arrive here, thank you for being here at Cerritos, or USC, or any other, because I can't stress that enough. This happens everywhere, right? What if we took our teachers and said, congratulations, now let us help you be part of this family that's lifelong learners. All of us here are lifelong learners, and we're willing to be better. So that's one object to go towards. The other one is, of course, the forms. Now, no, don't get the wrong idea. It just might be the forms might have a better purpose, but I'm thinking, I don't know if you noticed that back on those forms there, that here's one example. So the forms have, if you're going to get, let's say, graded, evaluated, there's the box that says unsatisfactory. Ooh, no bueno. Then there's the needs improvement. Okay. Lifelong learning there, needs improvement. And then if you're top, satisfactory. So we can talk all day about the excellence that we want to have on this campus or any campus and talk about excellence in our standards. But when it comes to actually documenting it, what we say is, that lesson was that was, I want to say amazing, but I can't. I have to say satisfactory on the form. Okay? I can't believe the level of communication you have with the students. It made me cry. That was so satisfactory. You know, why not be brave enough to say, we're going to recognize excellence, and we're also going to recognize that we're all learning as teachers. And so it's okay to say that you need some improvement, that it was satisfactory, but that you can strive towards excellence. What's wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think we could do it. But why would we go through all the trouble? And some of you say, well, this doesn't sound like trouble. Okay, let me explain a little bit here. So if we decided to do that and change the forms and change the process, you're going to get all the faculty involved. That's really important. You're going to get our faculty senate involved. You're going to get our union involved. You're going to get the managers involved. The board, they all have to be involved. They're going to talk a lot. And talking takes a long time. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's going to take a lot of grinding to get through that. I don't mean a lot like a couple hours or 2 weeks. We're talking years to get to this. So why would we do that? The answer, I think, is really simple. Teaching matters. Okay, there are studies that show out there, and we all know this as teachers, we've seen it, that show that students believe that teachers are the #1 reason why they succeed academically. What the teachers do with them in the classroom. So why wouldn't we help our teachers? Why would we leave them in the dark and just come in once in a while and say, let's see if we need to fire you yet? Why would we do that, right? And so I want to show you, in maybe a different way, how that impact would work. So if you can imagine, you can probably see those gold nuggets up there. And imagine that one of those nuggets, just one, is the impact, right? That this process and these new forms, let's say, would have on a teacher. The impact they would have on a teacher, okay? Everybody can see this, right? It's right in my hands, nice and easy. Now, if you imagine this blue water here is sort of the visibility of that impact. We can see it right there, right? So we take that one little nugget from that bit of impact and we throw it in. And what happens? Can anybody see it? Nobody sees it. Did it happen? It happened. It's there. And it's rock hard. It's not going anywhere. It happened. But we don't see it. Here's the thing. The teacher is just one teacher right now. But the teacher has students. It's going to impact the students. This process could impact the students. So they've got students. Now can you see it? A little bit more, right? It's a little bit clearer. But here's the thing. I'm not talking about one teacher. I'm talking about the entire campus. Actually, I'm talking about the entire world, but the entire campus. That means all the teachers who are willing and all their students who are willing. Now can you see the impact? The impact is visible. It's going to make a difference. And so, I'll close by saying this. I don't think this is just an idea worth sharing. I think it's an idea worth pursuing. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Teacher needs love too. I love you, man. Good presentation.
Thank you very much.